Hello, welcome to Northwest Connection. My name's Trelf.
And I'm Hanny.
And this episode we're stepping into an immersive world of post-rock with a band that has carved out a truly distinctive space with their cinematic soundscapes, intensity and razor-sharp musicianship. Welcome, Kusanagi.
Hello there.
Okay.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm being I just turned this off. I didn't realise it was on.
It's alright.
There you go, sorry.
It's not the first time that's happened, to be honest. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Alan. I play guitar in the band.
I'm Dan. I play bass in the band.
And you're usually a four-piece. Who are we missing?
We're missing Ben, who plays guitar, and Dean, who plays drums.
So four-piece.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how did Kusanagi come together?
So, I mean, it was 2011.
2011.
Yeah. So, basically, me, Alan, and Ben were already friends, and we kind of were jamming about. I used to work in a spa in St Helens, and I used to work with Dean, our drummer, and we were looking for a drummer, and basically me and Dean got talking, and turned out we both love all the same bands, and basically I was like, oh, have you heard 65 Days of Static? And he's like, oh, they're amazing, and bands at the time Mogwai and Mars Volta and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, well, we're doing this instrumental band. It was new to us, really, wasn't it, at the time?
We knew the genre, but new kind of thing.
So it was always the intention to do a.
So basically, I said to Dean, we were going to have a little jam, and said, do you want to come down and have a practice with us? And then it was gold.
The first practice, wrote the first song, first single, straight away. It was mental. Yeah, the first 4 hours, we just pretty much boxed it off.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We had a song called Mirror Image.
That was our first ever single, and we wrote that the first practice. Mad. Just it took about 3 practices, but the main crux of the song was done in the first practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we knew Dean was the one for us. It was.
As you know, in bands and stuff, it's hard to get that kind of connection.
Yeah.
And that kind of musicianship and connection, and that kind of that common ground.
Yeah.
But it was just there straight away.
Yeah.
It was quite cool.
It's funny how sometimes it just clicks, isn't it? Sometimes search for a band member, and then sometimes you just get the feel, don't you? And it's right.
Yeah. Because me, Alan, and Ben had jammed a little bit, and I was in a band from Wigan for a little bit, and Alan used to come down and help us a lot. And
I've been jamming with Ben for years.
Yeah.
Since we were 15. We started playing guitar at the same time. So I've been playing guitar for 25 years. So both of us. So we kind of had that. We knew that kind of language was there. That musical language was there. So that bit wasn't an issue. It was just trying to find all the members and stuff like that.
It's trying to find the right people who've got the same connection as you.
And the same kind of
same idea,
same vision, and that kind of stuff.
It's knowing that genre of music as well, because we did try Rye's an amazing drummer as well.
Yeah. One of my friends called Ryan.
Yeah.
He was a really good drummer. But again, it's hard to find the right fit sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that kind of stuff. But it was from the jump. It was good.
Yeah, it's kind of meant to be, and Dean, Dean's a lovely
14
guy.
years later, so it's pretty much.
Where did the name Kusanagi come from?
Being a little nerd, I suppose, back in the day, and being a film nerd, and I used to be really into anime and the Ghost in the Shell, the film, the anime film. The main character in that is called Major Kusanagi. So said that to the guys. They really
it was
liked
a list of band names that I saw.
Yeah, we've been there.
like 20 band names, and then right at the bottom was Kusanagi. What's that? And he told me, because I still haven't seen the film. I still haven't seen it. 14 years later, I still haven't seen it. But I thought that's cool, because we're a band called Light. We're from Japan, and then they've got an English name, for that, for the Japanese. We thought, well, we'll flip that.
Yeah,
we're an English band, but we'll have a Japanese name, and it kind of in the same kind of genre.
Yeah.
And we've seen it a few times, and it just works.
When we first started, we did get a few names.
Yeah. People didn't know what to say, or people called us Kimanagi and things like that. From things like that, random stuff. Kusanagi, Angangi, random stuff. But over time, people got to pronounce it right.
I think as we got our music out there and we played around the country and stuff, people were oh yeah, it's Kusanagi.
Kusanagi, it kind of works.
Yeah. And but then we also found out once we looked into that name, it's also a Japanese sword.
Yeah, the traditional Japanese kind of mystical sword. Stuff like that's quite cool as well. Ethereal type of vibe to it. So
you just said something then about the fact that you were, you've played around the country. So do you just want to tell us a little bit about that, obviously, because you've been away for a while and you're coming back at the moment, aren't you? So if you just want to go into some of the details on that side, how you come about to get some of the gigs that you've done across the country.
From the beginning, or just in general?
In general.
Yeah.
Well, we started in Liverpool playing. You know, we released Mirror Image, the first single, and then we just, you know, I think it was Adil's, and they were called Adil's, the Adil's Promotions, that they asked us to play a show, and there's a little known band called Alpha Male Tea Party, that are from Liverpool, and they came to that show, our first ever gig, and they asked us to play their album launch party, launch night. And then from there, we just built it up from Liverpool onwards, and slowly kind of gone around the country. We haven't been to Europe yet or anything like that. We'd love to, but it's word of mouth. At the end of the day, you need to be out there all the time and trying to play as many shows as you can. And like you said, we've been away for a while for different reasons, and but sometimes it also takes a while to write this kind of music. So you know, it can take you know, we spent 4 years on this new album that we're doing. So it's just word of mouth and building it over the years, really.
But you're Liverpool-based.
Liverpool-based.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
It's making contacts as well. So like, say at that Alpha Male gig, there's a guy called Marty who runs
from Aura the Captain.
Yeah.
There's an old band they're a band called Toto So now. Marty we didn't know this, but Marty was a quite integral part of the scene, based in Nottingham.
Where Button Pusher, he runs a
DIY
label called Button Pusher, which is based in Nottingham.
Yeah, so when we played that Alpha Male Tea Party show, right, the Captain were playing that show as well, and he was like, right guys, and we played in Nottingham, and then that was it then. But then also you got to be in it, you know, all the time. So like, as soon as you're out of the scene for a while, people can forget who you are, even if they might know the name and all that. But you know, there's so many new bands coming through. They need, you know, if you take a break, you need to start starting again. You see, so it just takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's also playing. You learn where to play and where not to play. I suppose over the time, there's some cities that love this type of music, like instrumental music, and it's really big. There's some cities just like
you just gotta try everything. Just gotta try and play wherever.
So have you got a favourite city that you've enjoyed playing the most?
I think Bristol's amazing. It's great. Bristol's just the one for
it's great for the scene. It's
perfect for the scene.
Type of scene as well.
Arctangent obviously.
It's birthplace of Arctangent.
So I think if in this genre you need to play Bristol, London as well, but I think Bristol's the one. But Leeds is amazing, and there's places that we're trying to sort out now that we've not played before, like Newcastle and Wales and stuff like that we have not played.
Because it's such a small country, but we used to have these pockets where certain music, like last week someone was saying like down Kent and Essex way, blues is massive.
Right.
Like, blues band.
You wouldn't know unless you're there.
People just go to gigs for blues gigs.
Oh yeah.
But we have these little pockets, and like Liverpool's very indie at the moment.
It's hip hop and indie, isn't it? Liverpool.
It's massive.
It was like we played with a band from Newcastle last year in Manchester, and like we're trying to like sort of stuff, and like there seems to be a bit of a scene in Newcastle now, which we didn't really know.
Yeah, Newcastle and
Hull and stuff with like post rock and instrumental music.
I think it all depends on like if a band breaks somewhere, you know, as in like kind of you know, like pops off online or whatever. It doesn't matter where they're from, and if they create their own little thing, their own little scene, wherever, then that creates another scene.
You tend to find some of the promoters though as well, don't you? If there's a promoter who's really into a style of music, they can really push that scene and bring some of the other bands into the town to help, you know, city.
And it changes over the years. Some people, you know, stop, and then new people come through. But then you need to find out who those new people are. Sometimes, like, you know what I mean. Sometimes go, oh, you're not doing it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot. Yeah, but we've been away for 5 years, so I understand.
So how did you two get into music?
Go on, you go first.
Well, I remember
you're more prestigious than me.
Prestigious. Well, I remember seeing Metallica on a VHS my dad had in like I did played the Freddie Mercury's benefit. I think like 91 or 92 was it?
91, you're right.
91, yeah. But I didn't know who they were. I think they played Sandman and Sad But True. And I was like, who is that? What is it? Because my dad always liked Thin Lizzy and the Beatles and vinyl, like, loads of vinyl, like about Elton John, all that kind of stuff. And we always listened to music. And I also went to a lot of pantomimes when I was a kid. So I always liked the live thing and the theatres and things like that. But as soon as I saw like Metallica, I was like, wow, this is immense, like the power and the energy and all that kind of stuff. But then I went off that and I got into punk when I was about 4. Because I've been on and off skateboarding since I was 9. I've give up kind of now, but I'm trying to get back into it at some point. as the brittle bones of the pushing 40-year-old, you know what I mean?
Doing it now.
But through skateboarding, I got into punk, Green Day, Blink-182, things like that. So like my first first main album that I bought was Dookie when I was 12. And I got into all that. Yeah, it's great. Great album. Great album. So from there, and then I got into like new metal, and it went on from there really.
And then like uni, you did your music.
Yeah, I kind of got into started playing guitar when I was 15, and then from that I got into production. I went to college and studied music production, and then went to uni, did music production, and now I'm a freelance sound engineer on the side of my day job. So yeah, but it's you got to work everything. You work at it all the time. I mean, we practice guitar. Please practice guitar for 4 hours a day after school. N64 all night, and then like guitar 64 goal. Every night. Obsessed with both. But yeah, that's
showing your age now.
Yeah, that's the last console I bought. Got no time for playing bloody games anymore.
Yeah,
what have you done?
I grew up like with my mum and like listened to like Queen and like Elton John, stuff like that. And when I was like in high school, into like a bit of indie and that, and then I think I got into Nirvana, and then like that just like blew my mind.
Down the rabbit hole after
and
that.
And then Rage Against the Machine like absolutely like blew my mind, and then I got into Tool. And then, metal and a lot of metal stuff.
You like Tool, Dan?
Oh, no.
You wouldn't know. You never know he likes Tool.
But then,
stop this here now, do we then? It must be something with bassists, because obviously Lee's a massive Tool fan as well.
Yeah, he's a wizard, isn't he?
Just a wizard.
The best.
But so like, got into all like, the grunge, post-metal. From Tool, got into like Meshuggah and like different types of bands. I think they were like the gateway to like more of like expanding like your Meshuggahs or subgenres, and then getting into like bands like Mogwai and like Explosion in the Sky, or bands like that kind of thing. Where I would never have thought of that at first.
Yeah.
Or like the Mars Volta, or there's loads of bands. But and then I've kind of come full circle again. So you got an Idol shirt on, and great band, and just like there's so many cool new bands coming out at the minute, but still into like metal and stuff. So yeah, it's and I started playing bass when I was about 17, and like Tool, Justin Chancellor is a massive influence, and Tim Comerford, and I was a bit into Chili's for like a smidge, and then I went to college, did a bit of like art and like some live performance stuff, and then did like music, like avant-garde music at uni, which was not amazing, but it was good for some things, and like stage design and stuff like that. So
did you find that helped sort of shape your musical influences, though, the avant-garde side of music? Or
in a way, when you're doing it, you're like, I hate this kind of, because it was like very avant-garde stuff in uni, but then it does open your mind up a bit more to like oh, what's this instrumental band, or what's this like,
or even as like little musical ideas.
Well, ideas,
like whoa, that sounds a bit quirky, but then that might work.
Yeah.
When you write it, and
I
things
might
like
try
that.
like something like that on my bass.
Or interested in sonic, the sound of a pedal, or whatever.
Sonics, and like getting into that kind of thing, and like as I've got older, I'm sure you're the same. It's like you just hone it down.
Yeah, you try to.
At it. You
try
as best as you can.
Try your best.
Still hard. Still doesn't work sometimes, but
no, it's good. It's
learning. You always
trial
learn.
and error. That's the best way.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's going to be a difficult question for you guys, but how would you describe your sound to someone that hasn't heard you?
I always say like ambient rock or ambient kind of. Yeah,
it's almost cinematic.
That's what I would say, but like with like a kind of a.
That's what I got.
An energy behind it,
like
kind of a.
Feel, I thought.
Yeah.
It just sounded like
a certain
like
pulse.
A film track.
Yeah.
Like a driving kind of like pulse energy behind it, but like kind of ambient, really ambient in that atmospheric. That's what I would say. I would say like kind of a more a modern Pink Floyd, but like like mathy Pink Floyd or whatever. You know what I mean? That's it's hard really.
Yeah.
Especially when you haven't got vocals or anything like that. It's hard to it's because it could be so broad instrumental music. It could be anything. Unless they hear it, they don't really know.
Yeah.
Or see it.
But then there's like parts where it's like a bit more like driven and like like.
It's more. Some of it's a lot just straight up rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without vocals.
Yeah.
You could put you could imagine vocals on it, but instead of that, it's just a guitar line that's doing it, the melody instead of a voice. So I say that's.
Do you draw a lot of inspiration from other like post rock bands, or do you have to sort of shut off from that to make your own?
Well, sometimes when I'm writing, I tend not to listen to anything like any. I don't want to be influenced too much. I mean, if I'm going to be influenced by something, it won't be post rock music. It'll be something else.
Because I am the worst, aren't I, Hanny? I'll listen to something. I'll come in, I'll have this riff, and I'll go to this.
Yeah, that you can't
see last week.
That can happen though.
Yeah.
It'll be subconscious half the time.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what it is. It's just
it's whatever you listen to at the time. I find the same thing as well. 1 minute, it's a noise rock, so it's a Horse vibe, and then all of a sudden, I'm listening to Mogwai and Godspeed, and
you can turn into that.
I'm sitting there playing around
like
with
8 minute,
8 minute delays with reverb all over it as well. So.
I will say. Over time, when you're recording music stuff, you're always looking back at your back catalogue as well and going what you kind of want to repeat, what you don't want to repeat, and kind of like honing certain things. Like we kind of got some of that right on that album, but then we'll try and hone that sound a bit more down and kind of like flip it around and modernise it for the time as well. So it's interesting when you've been going for so long. You kind of there's a familiarity there that people know your stuff, but you also want to push the boundaries of what you want, what you can see in your vision and things like that.
Because like when I recently looked back at some of our stuff that I've not listened to for years, and you're like how did we do that? And like that was really cool.
Yeah, you don't remember much about it. No, was that me playing that? Like, what? That's not me playing that. I can play that now. I'm too lazy now. Just give me 3 notes. Give me a 3-note loop for 5 minutes. I'm fine. Yeah.
Virtuoso.
But it's true because like you listen to some of our early stuff and it's like very like quite full on, like very mathy,
full on.
Whereas now
very hyperactive compared to now. It's a bit more like kind of like
measured.
I think that was more of the scene though back in when you first started around. You had like the 3 Trap Tigers, Tea Party,
Terra Melos,
it's full on.
bands,
which we all love those bands, and we've actually on this new album we've got some elements of that still in there, because we still like to like show off a little bit, you know what I mean, in parts. But it's like, I'm more for me personally. I like to write like songs. I like melody. I love melody, recurring melodies. So on this album, we tried to like hone in on that a little bit more.
It's a bit anthemic. Some of the songs.
Yeah. It's like emotion, some emotion behind it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with your music, the way it's like textured and it's layered, where do your tracks usually begin when you start writing? How does that come about?
You do realise he's just looking for notes here. Better songs.
It can be anything on it. So
come and have a jam with us sometime. A little jam, some little secret sauce.
Yeah.
Secret sauce.
It can literally be anything. It can be a guitar, like one guitar line, and it'll be like, oh, that's cool. Let's work on this. Alan, like you like to have like a structure, like
I like to write 2 or 3 sections that blend together. So I'll have like a couple of chord progressions that work together, maybe a through line, and then I know if I jam something with Ben will pick something up straight away. And he might have like 10 different ideas that he wants to narrow it down. It's hard to narrow it down. You have too many ideas sometimes. But I know I like to know where it's going, or where it might go. You know what I mean? So I'm a bit like I get quite obsessive with details like that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to waste any time really. Like especially now when we don't get as much time as we used to rehearse and write. So I cherish the time we do have to write and stuff. So I like to save time in that way and do a lot of the work out of practice, especially when I'm writing myself, and then bring something called, guys, I know we've got 2 or 3 different sections here. They'll all work together.
Because some songs just work. Like some songs you'll jam it and it'll work straight away.
Yeah, some take 10 months.
Literally, like intros take 10 months, and then you get the intro and you're like, it's doddle, but like I think Spatial Awareness.
The single we released recently. We kept the middle section. But before and after it was a completely different song. If you heard the old version, you wouldn't recognise it now. But we were like, nah, it's not right. I think did we get a chance to play that one live?
Played it live.
We played it live once. We played a few of these live ones off the new album, and some of it worked, felt right, and some of it nah, we need to go back into the writing stages. And that was a couple of years ago, and it took another 2 years to to polish it up and stuff like that. Sometimes you're right. Then sometimes it can 2-3 practices like Equilibrium that we released in 2020. That took 3 practices to write. You know what I mean? But sometimes it can take a year. Yeah. Off and on.
Yeah, do you find it hard to get rid of those bits that you've already?
Yeah, because especially if you've spent time yourself writing them, you're kind of precious about them. But then you got to realise what's right for the song itself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You've got to like go, nah, all right,
if
fine.
It's not working.
It's not working. Don't force it. You know, just
I think as a band we're quite good at delegating and like being like, yeah, it's not right. Even if you're like, I love that bit, but yeah, fair enough. And then you
sometimes
write something new and you're like, oh, that's well better.
Yeah. Or sometimes you might just keep it for something else. You know, it might come back again and go, that riff will work now in this song. So don't always get rid of it completely. Record everything. That's what I would say. Record all your practices, your jams, all that, so you can go back and go, oh yeah, that might work.
And because me and Alan are quite similar, probably with writing. Like once we write something, we usually stick with it. Ben is the one who'll like work.
Yeah. Well, we're all perfectionists. But I like the idea that sometimes it's good to have multiple ideas, because if sometimes you might think, oh, well, I wish we had that another part to go to here, or another idea, but so it's good. Yeah, sometimes I'll settle on something, or we'll settle on something. But then if it was sometimes, well, actually, Dean at the moment, or the last writing session, the drummer. He's been quite vocal about like, no, change that part. That reminds me of something else. I'm not really into that, or I keep that. So he's been a lot more like focused on the writing as much as more than ever now, which is quite cool to have a fourth kind of voice. Even though he's always been a voice, but he's mainly like
he's happy to put.
In the past, he's like, okay, look, guys, I'll just play on that. Now you guys have done, and I'm faffed about with that now.
I want this like this.
Yeah, but now it's like, no, I want to change my beat. Can you write a riff to my beat? Things like that. It's a good collaborative process.
Yeah, and it's good to have people who are good at maths as well. Dean's very good at maths.
Within the band, do you have different people that do different roles in the band, like your social media or your artwork for your singles?
Yeah.
So like on this album, I've been doing all the videos. Ben does all the arts. Dan does all the booking, a lot of all the social media stuff mainly you and Dean.
Yeah, booking gigs.
Some layers of me, like I would say that Dan's like the first point of call of the band. Like online and people who go to first, because Dan goes to a lot more shows than I do, so he knows a lot more people, and just in the scene, you go all over the place, don't you? Watching gigs and all that. So. Until I play a show these days, I don't know what's going on, which is I quite like that, because it's all fresh, kind of fresh for me again every time. You know what I mean? So, but
I think it's just I love going to gigs, and from doing this band, I've got to know a lot of people, like a lot of other band members, and now because I can drive to places, like go to like Leeds. I go to Leeds, or like yourself, like. You go wherever you can to go watch.
Well, every time I see you there, like, I was in London yesterday. I was there, and I was like, all right, we're going to tell me anything. Chelsea Wolf.
Secret gig.
But who goes to the most?
It's like I see pictures of you two together, with the Hidden Mothers gig the week in Liverpool, and I was like, I need to tell me going there. I knew about it like 2 months ago that it was on, but I didn't know it was happening now. Yeah, things like that.
But so like you get to meet loads of people from different bands and network, and it helps when you're booking gigs and stuff. So like when we booked a tour, when we did the Aeon album with like Blanket, and we did like a full week there, didn't we? And the Jugend tour, we did another full week there. And we played all over the country. It was brilliant.
Yeah, but it's also what to look out for and what not. You learn it by mistake. Sometimes you learn from your mistakes, or just learn from other people giving you advice. Yeah, other bands and other people you come across.
It's how to approach people, and there might be times where someone's not being amazing, or I might have said being not amazing in myself.
You can't be 100% all the time.
I wish I'd have booked it this way, and I didn't mean to.
It's a process. You just learn as you go.
And I'm getting older now, and you don't want to like annoy people and stuff. So, but yeah, it's luckily. We know a lot of good people in the scene. It's a really good scene to get into.
Just treat everybody like you want to be treated as well. You know what I mean? Just be easy going and get the job done.
So is there any bands that you want to shout out at the moment? Anyone who you really enjoy?
I've got a couple.
Yeah,
two local bands in Liverpool. The first one's called Smulk, SMULK. If you've seen them, they're a great band, and a band called Neverbody.
Right,
they're two instrumental bands there. Well, I think Smulk are like a half and half, and they do a bit of vocals. They remind me of kind of Sonic Youth Dinosaur Jr. mixed with like more of a Mafia version of that, and Nevermod, like kind of jazzy kind of vibe.
Brilliant.
Both are brilliant. Local bands.
Yeah, Smulk and Neverbody are brilliant. I'd say like Dutch Elm, like a good little band
from Newcastle. They just joined our label, the label they were on. Yeah, they're really good.
Just trying to think.
Give a shout out to your label, why you?
Ripcord
Records. They're based in Scotland.
Name's Charlene. Like,
she runs the label. She's great.
Yeah, she really loved our album and been great so far with us. And
all the bands on that label are brilliant.
Civil Service,
Code Speaker as well.
Code Speaker.
Yeah, band called Million Moons from London. They're great. Vassar, where we're on that label a while, but they were from Scotland. We've played with them a few years back. They're like an Anso much more far style kind of band. They're brilliant.
And then there's a Totoso, like our mate Marty,
based in
Nottingham.
He was the captain.
Yeah.
So shout out to them.
Yeah, there's
too many bands.
Too many good bands in the UK. I think once you go into a little rabbit hole, you find that they are good.
So what's been your favourite gig so far that you've done?
Wow. I mean, there's certain moments, more than just little bits of memory. Like I remember when we first time played Strange Forms in Leeds. I think that was 2014. I think
so. Yeah.
We were on second in the afternoon. It was packed. Yeah. It was amazing.
What venue was that? Sorry.
Wharf Chambers.
Wharf Chambers in Leeds.
Right.
It was Strange Forms Festival. It's getting even bigger now.
Yeah, it's run well now, isn't it?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Arctangent was great. It was great. I preferred the festival more than playing it. I think it was just because it was the last day and stuff. We're all like tired and all over, whatever. It was still a good experience. I'd love to play it again. Yeah. But that was great. Going on tour for the first time was a really cool experience. The second time as well. But going on the first time though was cool. Just being us four together and going on the road together was a cool experience. And
when we played Bristol in the old pub on the Jugend tour with Joe DeCou.
That was a great show.
Yeah, that was like packed and like it was just a really good show.
Well, I think that was James Scarlett was there from Arctangent basically. Yeah, from that show. There's been too many. There's been so many gigs.
We've been lucky to support like Anso, Watch From Afar.
Did that support them a few times. Maybe she will. Gallops. Wow. There's
too many.
The Blackheart gig was great in London.
Chaos Theory. That's online. That's on YouTube. There used to be a band called Waking Ida from Southampton, and we played them a few times. And the band and the shout out to a band like that. They were amazing. They still, I don't know if they're still going anymore. I don't think they are, but they were. When I saw them, I was like, that's how you do it. Yeah. Because they were still on the same level as us. Like they weren't like that big or anything, but just like they were so on it.
Yeah.
It's like when you're around bands like that, it kind of elevates your own thing, you know what I mean?
And like Alpha Male Tea Party and
brilliant.
Polymath. And,
there's so many. Cool bands, but the gigs. There's so many gigs to mention.
Have you got a dream venue you'd love to play?
I love to play Brunel Social in Leeds because when I used to go to loads of gigs there, and the sound system, the Strange Forms is there this year, and I love the sound system, and I love the vibe of the place.
They seem to be really into the music there. Don't
they love it. Like, I mean, we watched Mono there. We saw Mono there. Alcest were playing that day, but then before on the matinee show there was Melvins on it, and we didn't even know Melvins were playing. We didn't see the Melvins, but again, it shows you the quality of that venue. So for this scene, I think Brunel is definitely up there for me.
I think this year the Strange Forms. It's like Anso headlining it, and
some great
like
band.
Nordic Giants.
Svalbard on as well.
It's a great venue. So that's definitely on top one of the top venues I love to play.
And for me, Brunel, and I don't know, like I'd love to play a New Century in Manchester.
Yeah.
Like,
I've not been there. Still not been there.
Such a good sound.
It's really good as well.
I'm trying to think of else. I think New Century would be a good one. I'd love to play there.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like
I can see you in there. It'd work for you.
Is it quite a big place?
Is
it big? Yeah.
It's really big.
It's cool, though, isn't it? It's just
where is it about?
It's not far from the AO Arena.
Oh yeah, I know.
Victoria Station.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's literally over the road from it, pretty much, isn't it?
Well, if there's a gig coming up, I'm sure there's plenty. But I mean, one that I want to go to.
Yeah. I'm trying to think anywhere else. Like,
Well, Brixton Academy would be amazing.
Yeah, or the O2. Not the O2, the Apollo or something.
Oh, the Apollo would be insane, Manchester. But I'm being more realistic. More like low level. Obviously, there's like loads of huge venues to play.
Being realistic, right?
The Albert Hall in Manchester's amazing as well. That's a great venue.
But little venues, like, I don't know, like, again, there's loads of cool little venues about, and
Night and Day Cafe is supposed to be quite good. Never been there in Manchester.
Yeah, that gets mentioned. No, I've never been there myself either, but they get mentioned.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd shape, and
is it?
Yeah, it's very, very sort of odd shape because the stage seems to be just in the corner.
People say it's terrible for photographers.
Yeah. Like the Deaf Institute. Yeah. I'd love to play there as well.
And one which I'm relatively new to now is the Future Yard as well in Birkenhead.
Played there a couple of times. Sport dance over watching my father.
Yeah,
really good, solid, great sound, great people there. Cool venue, great venue.
Yeah, that's a cool venue. Yeah, I mean, it's just loads.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about I mean, I played some really good venues, but I'm trying to think of ones I haven't played. That's the main thing. I always forget the ones I have played. It's funny.
So going back to your latest release, was that had you finished that before you went in the studio, or were you still tweaking when you go in? It
was like 90% done. And we did, I mean, pretty much done. And then we went in, and then we tweaked little bits in the studio, because we're in the studio. Well, we did like 10 days recording. We stayed there for a week.
Where was that at?
That was at the Arch in Southport.
Right.
Amazing studio.
Tom Dring's sound engineer
and the owner, producer, and he's a great guy. Great. Shouts out to Tom.
Yeah,
it's a great place to work, and we love it. About 90% done, and then we just tweaked when we were in the studio. But like I said, we've been writing it on and off for 4 years. So we hopefully would have been done by then. We had a few months for prep, and we do a lot of prep, pre-production stuff, like guide tracks and things like that. So we kind of know the structure, that we quite well planned, because again, it's money and time as well. You don't really want to waste too much time when you're doing that.
The thing we did differently in the studio was me and Dean recorded drum and bass at the same time.
Yeah, that was a new thing,
which was really good and really cool.
And we'll give them more of a live feel.
Yeah, which we've never done that.
That was Tom's idea to do that. It was a really cool idea.
And then Tom and Dean went through a few drum parts together, because Tom's a drummer as well, and
kind of rewrote little parts as we went through, and Dean likes to absorb any ideas that Dean, especially people he looks up to and knows what they're talking about. He'll listen and change whatever. Yeah. No one's really unless it's a really solid idea, that we're always open to change. Little things. If it makes the song better and the production better, we'll always try whatever, really, if we've got the time.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I think sonically this is the best.
Oh yeah, he's a by far. It's because we finally got the chance to cost aside, to stay there and as a residential place, and we're really honing instead of going back and forth, and being in a bigger space with a bigger drum room and all that kind of stuff, and really spend some proper money on it, and
top of the range,
all the some amps, orange and some amazing. I used eight different amps for this. Wow. Well, 7 including the bass. It was 7 amps. From JC 120s, I could go through a list of different things we used.
I see some of the pictures from when you were recording as well on Facebook, and it's such a grand room.
It's an unbelievable place. Definitely one of the best places in the country, I reckon, now to work at. I've been
on our doorstep as well.
I mean, Tom's a lovely guy as well, and he's brilliant.
We worked with them on our first. One of the singles, Equilibrium, is going to be on the album as well, that we released in 2020. On his old place called Vagrant. It was like a small kind of it was like a little unit, to like a double unit kind of space, and to see him go from that to what he's got now is unbelievable. That shows how hard he's worked to get to that spot.
And you got bigger bands like I think Vower was in there.
Vower's been in there.
100-Year-Old Man, and they did like a live thing there. And
I think what's his name? Dave Lombardo.
Lombardo, Empire State Bastards. They were doing stuff there.
Bands like Giant Walker.
Yeah.
Been in there. Mountscape. They've been in there doing their thing.
Burial at Sea as well.
Burial at Sea. Yeah, they did the drums there. There's loads. He's got loads of names in there.
So, are you sending the producer like a demo track before you go in to listen to? Or
We sent little bits this time around. Yeah, we didn't last time, but we got more like structured this time around. We sent some the live stuff, so we got an idea.
Yeah.
As soon as to be honest, we do all the we were trying to get the guide tracks as close to the thing as possible. So we do all the guide tracks in Ben's, our guitarist, and without the drums, but all the guitars and all the bass, and then we send them to. So we got a really good idea of the structure and everything like that straight away. And even sonically, we try to get the guitar sound as close as they're going to be on the record to give them an overall picture and a vision of what how his approach might be.
So us three kind of pre-record the album before.
And then Dean listens to it and makes sure the tempos are right and things like that. But then you went, like Dan was saying, as soon as we went in, you two record together was a brand new thing. So you had to like not relearn them, but I had to like get into the
watch each other.
And get into the tempos and the click track and make sure it's all spot on. It's all clicked up still. But and trying to get the feel right. So when it's to a grid, it's hard because you don't want to sound too robotic. You still want to have that live band feel. So that there's some magic in there as well to try and get as close to a live band feel as possible.
Because that's the main thing. Live is what.
We're a live band, so we were trying to get that as close.
So just talking about live as well. There, you've obviously been out and played some shows with the new stuff. How's it been going down with the?
It's been great.
Crowds? Yeah, great so far. Yeah.
Well, I think was both you guys there. But that was like a sneak peek to the whole album. We played the whole album that night. It was like a little preview, just to get it out of the way for us. Yeah. Just iron out any issues or any little technical stuff or anything like that. But I think it went down.
That as well, wasn't it?
Nice little venue.
Nice venue to do it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool little place.
But I think everyone who's there, like, we had loads of lovely comments and said it sounded brilliant. And we played a few new songs in Manchester. I think you were there as well, weren't you? And again,
it's been cool. Like I said, like 2 years ago, we played a couple of these songs. And then we thought some of the stuff need to be changed. Yeah. So we've had that time to in the last two previous albums, we just recorded them, didn't play hardly any of it, and then we went out and played it without having road testing it first. And this time around, I wanted to road test it to really see what the public's reaction was going to be, and then go we played in 2 shows in Manchester. We played half of the album, and in Nottingham a couple of months before we played the first half of the album. So we kind of knew the gate because we obviously do care what people think and the feeling in the room. And that can dictate, how you write little parts. And then we went back and changed some bits, just to try and give the public the best experience we can, musically. Right,
we're going to move on to the fun section now.
Go on.
So, if you could rewrite a soundtrack to a film, any film, what would it be?
Rewrite.
We like to test you.
Hard because the films you think about you won't want to change a certain sound. So I get it.
Have to be careful with that one.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be a Disney film. I thought Dan might come right in with Beauty and the Beast, Kusanagi stuff.
If we were doing a film.
Yeah.
Lost in translation.
I know, bit Lebowski would be funny, just for a laugh. Some Matthew. And see Jeff there, the dude just dancing to all our bits.
Throwing the ball.
Yeah, throwing the ball about it. All this kind of stuff. Yeah, I'll be well good.
I got a beverage
here, man. Not on the rug.
I'm the walrus.
That'd be quite cool. Yeah, so if the Coens are listening, we'll sound check next film.
No, it's like Nightcrawler or something like that.
Nightcrawler would be immense.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. I'm not going to say Blade Runner because I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare Van Helsing.
So if you got a favourite soundtrack then that you would say that is it, obviously.
Or just in general?
Soundtracks are obviously a big part of
it. Yeah.
I don't know, you're a massive David Fincher fan as well, so...
Yeah, I love Fincher.
Well, I love anything by Thomas Newman.
Right.
Thomas, like Finding Nemo, Shawshank. Yeah, he's my favourite composer by far. He's the top for me. He's peak. He can do any genre. I think he can do all your Disney stuff, all your Pixar stuff, but then he can do Green Mile, Shawshank. Erin Brockovich, all the quirky, the percussion side of it, but electronic. You can do strings, piano, like American Beauty, beautiful piano pieces like that. No, Thomas Newman's number one for me.
I'm a bit more basic. I'm straight up for John Carpenter all the way.
No, Thomas. Yeah, he's great. He's great in a different way. He's great in a different way. Yeah, the synth stuff.
And now modern, I love Trent Reznor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Nine Inch Nails is scoring the new Tron film, I think.
Yeah. And he did the Challenges soundtrack recently. Which was dead good.
I've not seen the film, but I've heard bits of that. Oh no, Atticus and Trent are beasts. Are well good.
But I used to love Clint Mansell as well. Did Requiem for a Dream and Moon.
So great soundtrack. The piano on that. Well, that piano sound reminds me of Newman.
It's very Newman-esque. Yeah, I love Newman. He's brilliant.
Yeah, it's class.
Have you got a current song that's on repeat? You're allowed to look at your Spotify.
I haven't really.
I've been listening to a lot like Shock Me by Baroness, and been listening to a lot of new Mogwai stuff as well.
The new Def Heaven album's really good.
New Def Heaven
brilliant.
It slaps, it really does.
Yeah, it's really good. I love the visualizers, how it's telling the story and using the characters as the artwork and all that, and the vocals. Because I really liked the last album, but I think on this album they've got the best of both worlds.
Definitely.
The early Sunbather sound with some of the singing and some spoken words. The spoken word stuff's really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that Infinite Granite was really underrated as a Def Heaven album anyway. Everyone seems to go for New Bermuda or for Sunbather straight away. So.
I think they've got the blend right on this one.
I think it's up there with Sunbather easily, the new album.
I think it's a good spot. And the video to the short film they called with Winona. Check it out. It's really cool. He's got a proper presence about him on screen. The singer, we've seen Def Heaven a couple of times.
Yeah,
really cool, really great bands.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But that I've been listening to a lot. Def Heaven album.
Same. I'm trying to think of anything else new though. New Def Heaven album really has been smashing that.
If you could have another musician guest on one of your songs, who would it be?
What, Maynard from Tool?
Right answer.
Maynard.
I'm put lyrics on a song.
It'll be unbelievable.
Talking about his winery.
Yeah, don't mind that. Maynard, you can say whatever you want, mate. I don't care. Slag the band off in key. I don't mind.
I'd have Chino or Chino Marino.
Chino would be great, perfect as well.
Or Stuart Braithwaite, because I just love him. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And his guitars tones just unreal. Or Justin Chancellor, just because.
You had to say that, Dan.
I have to. Sponsored by Justin Chancellor.
Yeah, it's your sound check track that. Schism every now. Dan's in the house. You know when Dan is.
Yeah.
You're the same person.
Yeah, the same person.
It's like a little telepathy.
Base cult.
Telepathic language.
Oh my word. I think we better get off and just leave them.
It's alright, we're going out together after this.
It's a standard.
If you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be? On the spot. What would yours be, Hanny?
What would mine be?
Yeah.
I think it might have to be Diamond Eyes by Deftones.
Good choice.
Because I can just listen to it to death. It's
amazing.
Such a good album.
I think Siamese Dream by Pumpkins.
Good choice.
And all the bracket sound by Sigur Rós, the one with the no name one. And Young Team by Mogwai will be there. But I think Siamese Dream would be mine.
I think I might want to change my answer.
Siamese Dream's got a bit of everything, hasn't it?
Siamese Dream's amazing.
It's got everything on the album.
It's even got Quiet on it.
It has, which you could leave that off.
No, you can't. Can't leave Quiet.
I'll put up with it. Yeah. What about you, Liv? I put you on the spot.
Never asked. Did you just leave you in the corner every time? This is going to have to change, isn't it?
I think for me,
she's on her Spotify looking.
Oh, yeah,
the misogyny ends now, Liv.
I'd probably go Around the Fair, Lateralis.
We said one.
You won.
All right.
Let's have one.
It's been greedy.
God.
Mine would have to be 10,000 Days.
Really?
Yeah, I just think it's just.
It's great.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is your last podcast anyway, so you can have an opinion.
I'm still frustrated with Tool for how long it took them to go from 10,000 days to Fear Inoculum. And then literally a month later, Cult of Luna released a better album anyway.
Cult of Luna, yeah. Amazing.
I think I'd have to, for now, I'd have to go with In Rainbows.
Good album.
Amazing album.
Yeah.
That's tough. In Rainbows is top 10 for me, easily.
Is it?
I
like
yeah.
it, yeah.
That got me into him. That
Really?
got me really into him. Yeah. I mean, obviously, OK Computer and all that's great, but In Rainbows for me was a masterpiece. I think.
It's just
I think it's perfection.
perfect.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
Unbelievable.
got to see them on that tour as well. And it was so
I saw him in 2000. No, 2009. I think it was at Leeds.
The
Did
Hail
the
to
headlines.
Thief.
No, I think it was In Rainbows.
Oh, yeah.
When Nude and all that came out. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him on that
I
tour.
seen them at Old Trafford, and they had their MGMT and
All right.
Bafalash.
I've seen that.
Ah, okay.
I've seen MGMT as well. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that album,
In
In
Rainbows.
Rainbows is
Good
class.
call.
Superb.
If you were going to go on a world tour, what would be the country you'd like to visit first?
Japan for me.
Goes with the name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'd go America. Just
Even now.
Even now. just to be like,
Politics out of it. No politics.
no politics, just music.
Right, we're on some quick fire questions now. So
Okay.
Hanny can pick a couple from here.
All right, so we'll go whiskey or beer.
Beer.
Yeah.
Vinyl or streaming?
Vinyl for me.
Vinyl.
Bacon frazzles or onion rings?
Onion rings.
Onion rings.
And this one's drum solo or bass solo.
Drum solo for me.
I'd go drum solo,
I'd
to
go
be
drum
honest.
solo, you
yeah.
know.
Is that 'cause you
would.
couldn't play the bass solo?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Unless it's like a Les Claypool like solo or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's
or
just
like,
that's just like a whole
then-
Primus album.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely drum solo.
So would you rather do a big festival or an intimate gig?
Overall, like intimate gig for me. I'd prefer that vibe. But yeah, if I get a chance to play 20,000 people, I'll take that as well. But at the moment, yeah,
Intimate gig.
festival.
I think you should go one of these two.
You want me to go with mystery meat milkshake or a meat feast pizza with toothpaste sauce?
What?
That's the mightiest Booster question I've ever heard.
I go on meat feast because I love pizza.
With the toothpaste as well.
Yeah,
Why
why
not?
not?
Go for
Why
it.
not?
2 for 1, I suppose.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Just cancel each other out.
So on that note, we'd like to thank you for coming down. When can we expect your album?
It's coming out May the 30th.
And what's it called?
It's Paramnesia.
And then, is anything you can talk about you got lined up, or is everything still hush hush at the moment?
We could talk about the album, I suppose, like a little bit.
Go on, give us a sneak peek.
I mean, like, as in, like, it's called Paramnesia. It's got 8 songs on it. I think it's the best stuff we've ever done.
Yeah, it's getting released on Ripcord Records.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's got a theme to it, hasn't it? It's like
it's all about like dreamscapes and like simulation theory. That's the loose kind of abstract concept of the album.
Awesome.
Things like that.
Thanks for coming down. Thanks for joining
No
us.
problem.
No,
Thanks a lot.
for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you.